All right, welcome back everyone to PSGL. We are here at the Circuit de Monaco here in Season 30 for Round 3 of the PS F8 Championship here at PSGL. So we're here at the Monaco Grand Prix for Round 3 in this fantastic championship. You join us with 15 minutes remaining of the qualifying session here today in Monaco. Before we get into the race, let's talk about the track itself. So, Monaco has the 19 turns that make up a circuit length of 3.3 kilometers. That's 2.0 miles long. And there's only one DRS zone for around here, and that is on the pit straight heading down to the first turn. And that's going to be the best place to make an overtake. Overtaking is not very common for around here due to the track being how close and how narrow as it is. And so overtaking is going to be a little bit more difficult. And the top speeds for around here are going to be around 180 miles per hour. And so people will have a little bit more of a harder time of overtaking. But I expect a lot of these drivers to find the ability to make an overtake at certain points of the track. So with the track details aside, let's get into the Grand Prix here today. I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for the PS F8 Championship, and today we're here at Round 3 for the Monaco Grand Prix. If you guys missed out on the previous round in Britain, it was a fantastic race. The rain changed everything, guys, and it brought in to be a thrilling end to the race. So we had an amazing race in Silverstone. Now we head to Monaco, a very different track to the Silverstone circuit. It is a very narrow part of the calendar, of course. It's got the third sector as we're riding on board with Jansen coming through that particular section right now. It is so close, guys, to hitting the wall. Like drivers like that, you know, have to kind of avoid the barriers and make sure they keep it out of the barriers and on track, because one little mistake and you're off and you hit the wall and you're out of qualifying, or if you make a mistake in the race, the same thing, you're out of the race. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these drivers can do. So, around this track, as it had mentioned, there is only really one place to make an overtake. There's only one DRS zone, and that is at the first turn. But there is a few more other places to make overtakes. But it is going to be a lot harder for these drivers to do so. So there is turn 5. That's a great place to make an overtake. And then there's also turn 10 at that chicane into turn 11. A very tight one. But you can try and go side by side with your rival, send it down the inside, and try and get ahead as you enter the chicane. So it's going to be interesting to see what drivers can do. But we'll find out how that all works out. So if you guys are new to the PSGL channel, make sure to subscribe. If you're liking the commentary so far, like this video as well. Share it with your friends. That would be great. If you guys can get the stream out there, that would be very much appreciated. Currently, we got Giro on provisional pole position for Alfa Romeo. A 109.318 is the current pole position lap time. De Bosler in second place for AlphaTauri, with Jarno in the McLaren sitting third as Jarno comes into the pit lane as well. He's on older tires than his rivals around him, so he's going to probably want to get newer tires and come back out on track and set a better lap time. But the Alfa Romeo is running pretty strong right now. Felix and Giro in P1 and P5 looking pretty strong for Alfa Romeo right now. And Williams have had a pretty good season so far in terms of the qualifying. The races haven't really gone their way, actually. They kind of had some bad luck. Portugal didn't go the best for them. And then in Britain, they kind of got messed up because of the rain. They might have even finished two cars on the podium, possibly one in the win as well. But if the rain came, and so that affected their results. So Williams need a good result in today's race. They really do, to push them in there. So the qualifying's been good for them, as I did mention, but they need a good result in the race as well. Now, currently, Robin West is on the medium compound tire. Same with Teese down in P15. Robin on the mediums in P7 with a 110.1. Now, I wonder if he's going to want to stay on those medium compound tires, or he's going to want to put on a set of softs, maybe go out again and set a decent lap time there. We will find out in a moment if this is the case for the Aston Martin driver. And it looks like he's actually not on a lap. It looks like he's actually slowing down on his lap, so he's going to want to come probably in the pit lane, unless he's going to go again on these medium compound tires, which I wouldn't recommend it since they are 3 laps old. And they're already worn down, so I would recommend for Robin to come into the pit lane and either wait till the end of the session and hope that he doesn't slip down further down the grid or pit onto the soft compound tires and put a different lap on. It looks like he's going to come into the pit lane now, so he's probably going to put onto the softs or do what I said earlier, as Felix 1 has got no front wing. Now, as I had mentioned, Monaco is famous for drivers going into the wall and getting wing damage, as all street circuits really are, but this one is especially difficult. It is a very difficult circuit, and that's why it's also one of the most famous circuits in Formula 1, and actually, I correct myself, it is the most famous circuit in Formula 1, as everyone knows the Monaco Grand Prix, even if you're not a Formula 1 fan. But yeah, the Monaco Grand Prix truly is a special one. I can't really explain it. It's just the Monaco Grand Prix. It's just historic and absolutely thrilling to watch. All right, so it looks like a few drivers are coming out on track, getting ready to start laps. Let's take an onboard with Jarno and take a look at the lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. So he's going to come down into turn 1, looking pretty strong so far. Pretty good line. Oh, but he bumps the wall there. Might have wing damage, and that could affect his lap. He might have to slow down. Let's see. Yes, he is slowing down. I think he is. Yes, he definitely is slowing down after hitting that wall. I wonder if he's got wing damage. Let's take a look at the McLaren driver. Let's look at his front wing. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but he could have very, very slight damage to that McLaren. De Bosler is on a lap as well. Hopefully that Haas will get out of the way. Yes, he does. So down into turn 5. De Bosler looking pretty strong, a little bit wide, but down into the tight hairpin, the most difficult hairpin on the Formula 1 calendar, and into the double right-hander at turn 7 and turn 8. And you want to get a good exit out of here if you're going to try and make an overtake on the driver ahead. Because in the race, if there's one driver ahead, you might have the opportunity to make them overtake. Now, down into turn 10. Don't hit the wall on the left. And then again on the left at the exit of turn 11. But unfortunately, De Bosler has invalidated that lap. And it looks like he will not be continuing on that one. He's going to have to go again to try and set a better lap time. Let's see if he's going to go for it. I think he's going to try it now. Let's see. We'll ride on board with the AlphaTauri in a moment, as he is going to go for another lap. So actually, let's see how it's... Oh, never mind. I think he's backing off of that one. Maybe he messed up his braking point and had to go into the escape road. Seems like that was the case. And Jarno's also pit, so that gives me the feeling that he did have damage when he hit the wall there, so that's why he's down in P4 and he's going to have to go out again. As Ruben goes fastest overall, a 109.0, the times are coming in, the track is warming up, and we're seeing some faster times coming in very fast. Ruben with a 109.0, he's 0.3 faster than Giro in the Alfa Romeo. I got a good feeling that Ruben's going to get a good race here. I think Red Bull are on for a really good race here today. I think Ruben's got the pace to do it. He hasn't been able to get a podium so far this season, but I think he's got the pace today, and I think with the pace he's just showed, he should be able to get up there. As El Palater just went second fastest with a 109.2, and now he is 0.2 behind Ruben. So I got a feeling as well that El Palater is going to be pretty quick. This guy, I think he's got the pace to be scoring consistent wins. I think he's just had some bad luck. Britain, unfortunately, with the rain, came at the wrong time. He was looking to actually win that Grand Prix, and unfortunately, it didn't really work out. All right, so Giro on a lap as well. Oh, a little bit of lag going on, but it looks like we're all good. Let's see if Giro is able to improve on his time. He currently has a 109.318. Ooh, but I think he's mistaking La Rascas there. Had a little mistake at the exit there, unless that was a lag. And it looks like he's not going to be improving on that time, but gets an excellent turn 1, actually. So I think he's going to be going for another lap here today. Let's take an onboard with the Alfa Romeo driver. Down into Casino Square we go. Looking pretty strong as he exits Casino now. Into Mirabeau. Turn 5, purple sector for the Alfa Romeo. He's got an Alpine right behind. That's Nick Kenshin. Hopefully that Alpine's lap won't be hurting anyway. Now into Poitiers. Giro off the exit. Little slow off of turn 8, but okay. Turn 9 flat out through there. Get as much as you can to the right. Then into a downhill section. Into the Novelle chicane. Aces that. Gets a little bit too wide. Has to kind of correct the car to get it back on track. Now down into turn 12 to start the swimming pool section. Oh, he gets very close to the wall there, but just is perfect through there. Taps the wall on the right into Larascas, the heaviest braking zone on the track, rotates the car perfectly, and unfortunately has to go into the pit lane. I wonder if that little bump on the, I think it was the exit of swimming pool, it was at turn 15 and 16 area of the track. I wonder if that affected his lap. Maybe got wing damage, unfortunately. Didn't think that that lap was going to be improving. Now, Giro, since he did pit, he's probably going to want to try and go out for another lap. Try and improve on that time, get a better lap time, and try and go for pole position here today. He's going to have to go like 4/10 faster than that lap, which is doable, but it is going to be a very difficult thing to do. By the way, Robin West did go 4th fastest for the Aston Martin team with the 109.4, so he did go on to the soft compound tires and puts himself up into the top 4. Now, Robin had a brilliant strategy in Portugal, got a podium because of that, so he's looking to get another podium, and possibly that podium could be a win today. We will find out how that works out, and strategy is key for around here, guys, because you can take the tires for a very long way. I've seen drivers go like almost 30 laps on medium compound tires. Yes, 30 different laps on the mediums. So drivers starting in the mediums, that is an excellent strategy, but the one thing that you do not want to do here is you do not want to be stuck in traffic. That is something that you do not want to do, because if you're stuck in traffic, then you're in a part of the track where you can't really overtake. You know, unless you're like right on the back of the other car, like a 1/10, 2/10 behind that car, then you might be able to make that move, but otherwise you're not going to be able to. So the one thing you want here is to be not stuck in traffic, because you want to make sure you have clear air ahead of you so you can push as much as possible. If you're stuck in traffic, you will never be able to get past that car unless there's a mistake or you're like 2/10 behind that car. That's the only thing you can do. And like I mentioned many different times, this track has got like 0 overtaking opportunities besides some really difficult ones like the first turn and the Nouvelle Chicane. So yeah, it's a really difficult thing to do, guys. So don't get stuck in traffic. Pit as least as possible, but with drivers getting damage, I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of pit stops today. I would recommend a one-stop strategy for around here. I would recommend going soft hard or medium hard. That's another option as well, or medium soft. You can stretch the mediums for a while. Like I did mention, I have seen drivers go 30 laps on the medium compound tires for around here, but it is a very difficult thing to do, and you want to take those mediums to around lap 26. At least to there, guys, at least to there, and then put onto the softs, because the softs can go for around 13 laps until they start degrading, and then they're going to just be gone, really. They're really going to be gone, and like I mentioned, if you're stuck in traffic on soft compound tires, that is not an ideal situation. So it looks like Jarno is about to start his lap, probably his second to last lap. He might be able to get another lap in, but let's find out as he comes down into the first turn, looking pretty strong, as he's gonna pass that Red Bull up the hill to Massenet. A long left-hander shifting down to 4th. Excellent, excellent. Aces Casino, that's really looking good for him. Avoids the bump, down into turn 5. Another heavy braking zone, gets perfectly in the middle of the track and down into the heaviest, one of the heaviest braking zones on the track. Maybe Larascas might be heavier, into the triple or double right-handers. Into Portier, gets a good exit, looks like. Shifts up quite early. Looking pretty strong through turn 9. Gets very close to the curve there. Down into Nouvelle Chicane. He aces the first turn. What about the second turn? Yes, he does. As a little bit of a straight, a little bit of a breather for these guys as he comes through turn 12. Gets very close to the wall on the right and into swimming pool. He's got to get so close to the wall. This is where drivers mess up, because they hit the wall. A lot of real F1 drivers actually crash into the wall. Into Larascas, looking really strong. Into Anthony Nose for the last turn. Aces that, gets a little slow off the exit. But Jarno to the line. What's this lap going to be? It is P2. 1/10 behind the Red Bull driver of Ruben. And what a lap that was from Jarno. It was really good from the McLaren driver. It is not enough for pole position unless he's going to go again. But I don't think he's going to be able to do so. Ruben on a lap as well. The Red Bull trying to improve on his time. Shifts down very, very, oh, that's a Mercedes in the wall. Oh, I wonder if that messed up Ruben's lap. I hope it did not. And I don't think it did, but he's acing the first sector, it looks like. Is there anyone else on the lap as well? I think an Alfa Romeo of Giro's coming to the line. Let's see what Giro can do. He's 2/10 up on that lap. Giro to the line. Can he take pole position in Monaco? No, he can't. By 1/100th of a second, Giro has missed out on pole position, and that is absolutely close between the top two in qualifying. What an end to qualifying, unless someone else can improve on their time. Robin not on a lap. El Pilatera is not on a lap. De Bozler's out. Kenshin's done. What about Slash, though? Slash on the mediums, trying to improve on his time. I don't think he's going to be going faster, so I think it is going to be pole position for the Red Bull driver, Ruben, unless he's able to improve on this time. He got a pretty poor exit out of Anthony Nose as he comes to the line now. He does not improve on his time, but that's it. There's no need to improve on his time because Ruben has pole in Monaco. Brilliant stuff from Ruben. A 109.041 was the pole position lap. He set that a few minutes before the end of qualifying. And what a lap it truly was. He's going to be starting on pole position. That's the best place to start, guys. Pole position is the best place to start. If you lead down to turn one, that is absolutely perfect. So these drivers will look to try and take it off Ruben. I think Giro is going to be a little frustrated to miss out on pole position by 1/100th of a second. That was very close, guys. That was insanely close between the top two. And Jarno, a 10th behind these guys. Robin, 2/10, and then El Pilatera, also very close to Robin. The top five were just separated by 2/10 of a second. Wow, what an end to the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying as we end off the qualifying session here today for round 3 of PSGL. And Ruben will start on pole here in F8. And the question now is, will he be able to hold pole position into the rest of the race? Or hold the lead, actually. Hold the lead. That's the better term to use. So will Ruben be able to hold the lead off of Giro and Jarno and the rest of the drivers into turn one? We will find out. But that's the results for the qualifying session here today in Monaco. The Red Bull driver, I told you guys at the very start, I think Ruben's going to get a really good race here today, and he starts off on pole position, so congrats to him. Ruben on pole for the Monaco Grand Prix with Giro in second place for Alfa Romeo, with Jarno rounding off the top three for McLaren. The top three just separated by 1/10 of a second. Absolutely incredible. Red Bull, Alfa Romeo, and McLaren line up 1, 2, 3, and the rest of the teams in the mix as well. De Bozler down in 6th. El Pilatera in P5 with his teammate Slash on the medium compound tires in P12. Remember, the bottom 11 will be able to start whatever tire they choose, and a brand new set at that one, so that's going to be good for them, but they are going to have to try and get past a lot of drivers at the start. And the thing is, guys, is that the start is probably one of the most exciting points of the Grand Prix because everyone wants to get ahead, and that's sometimes where crashes come in. That's another thing to note as well. Crashes do happen at Monaco because everyone wants to get ahead, and that is key for this race. Now, what the leader needs to do, whoever leads down into turn one, what they need to make sure is that they lead into turn 5 all the way up until that point, and then they can start to relax a little bit and start pushing that gap a little bit more and start getting that gap to the second place driver and the rest of the pack as well. So all the driver needs to do is just take the lead at all the way up until turn 5 and then start relaxing. So the intense moments is going to be for the first 5 turns, and then we're going to get an amazing race after that because there's going to be so much action. Strategy is key for around here. As I did mention, drivers can choose a medium to soft, a possible medium to hard, a soft, medium soft. That's another option as well, and most of these drivers will probably go for that since they are all starting on the soft compound tires. All right, so as we head into the 39 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. Really do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the commentary, smash that like button. That really does help us out. And subscribe to the channel to see more PSGL content like this. And also comment your thoughts, your predictions, your thoughts on the Grand Prix. If you have any questions for me, let me know down in the comments below. I'll try and respond to as much as possible. But, of course, I'm also commentating on this, so it's going to be hard to multitask. But that's quite all right. right. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. So let's start off the Grand Prix while the formation lap is happening by doing a rundown of the grid so we know where everyone is starting. So Ruben lines up on pole position for Red Bull Racing here today in Monaco. Can he convert that to a race victory? We'll find out once we hit lap 39. Giro lines up alongside Ruben on the front row of the grid. The Alfa Romeo driver will look to take the lead off of Ruben at turn 1. I think we're going to get an epic fight between those two drivers as we head into the race. And then we got Jarno in P3 with Robin West starting P4. He got a podium in Portugal. Let's see if he's going to be able to get a podium here today. Jarno also going for that podium. And then we got El Piloter, who missed out on the win in Britain due to the rain, but maybe he'll be able to come into this and try and get a good start and get up there. He's got De Bosler, who got a podium in Portugal, lining up P6. Then we got Nick Kenshin in P7 for Alpine with Thies in P8. Francine Felix 1 starting P9 and P10 on the 5th row of the grid. And then we got Slash on the medium compound tires with Jansen, who got a podium last time out in Britain. And then we got Daniel in the Haas. And then we got Hyped, Milan, and Mats rounding off the grid. Milan starting towards the back of the grid. He's going to need to get a good start here today as he won the race in Portugal and got pole position in Britain. But anyway, we're ready to go. 17 drivers line up on the grid. We're running on board with Ruben right now as we head into the Grand Prix. 39 laps await us for the PSGL F8 Monaco Grand Prix, round 3 of season 30. The fiber lights are about to go out. It's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. For PSGL and F8, it's lights out for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's a great start for Ruben, great start for Giro, great start for Jarno as well, who's trying to challenge Giro. It's a very good start for the race leader, though, as he leads us away. A lot of drivers too wide as we come up the hill to Massenet. Great start for El Piloter as well, trying to challenge Robin, who's trying to get in the mix as well, but he's forced a little wide because Nick Kenshin is now up to P5, and El Piloter might have a little bit of damage, and it looks like Thies is trying to make a move on El Piloter, and a McLaren de France trying to get in the mix as well. Our driver's going to try and go side by side down into the hairpin. They're all trying to force their way in. There's a little bit of crashing going back at the back of the field, but a pretty good start for everyone as Ruben now has a 7/10 gap that was perfect for the Red Bull driver. He led away well, and Giro is now starting to try and catch up and trying to get back into the action and try and take over P1. He gets a little bit too much oversteer on the exit of turn 11 at the exit of the Novel chicane, and Jarno is now going to start closing in on Giro as well, but a pretty good start for the top 3. Great start for Robin as well. He took back those positions. It looked to be a great start for El Piloter. It looks like there was a little bit of contact with another driver at Massenet and Casino Square, and unfortunately he's down to P8, and I think he's got a little bit of damage as well. Let's see. Yes, he does have damage. So does De Bosler, I think. No, it's Thies. Thies and El Piloter have damage. Not the greatest start for the both of them, unfortunately. Milan also has got damage, and Daniel has also got damage as well. Unfortunate to see that. They are all going to be pitting for mediums, it seems. And meanwhile, we got Francie and De Bosler side by side into Massenet. Francie up to 6. What a move that was. Good move from the McLaren driver. Now we might see Felix 1 trying to make the move. As there goes the Mercedes down the inside. A little bit too much contact, I think. That was Jansen going side by side with the Alfa Romeo down to the hairpin. Who's going to come out ahead? Ooh, it's very close to contact, but to keep it going, Williams is forced a little bit wide there. And it looks like the Alfa Romeo keeps ahead. A lot of action at that particular moment. But it looks like the Mercedes sent it. He saw an opening and went for it, but it looks like he misjudged the braking point and went into the back of another car. So unfortunate to see that, as that is El Piloter off the track. Let's find out what happened to the Williams driver. He's facing the wrong way on the track, in the middle of the track, and it has not been the best start for the Williams driver, as he's going to be exiting now turn 5, as Ruben now sets the fastest lap of the race, and he now has a 1.7 second gap to Giro. 3 laps into the race, and Ruben's already starting to extend his lead off of the Alfa Romeo in P2. A very good start for Red Bull here in Monaco. So it looks like De Bosler and Slash also had contact with Jansen and a few other cars. I think Felix 1 was involved in that as well. And because of that contact at turn 5, it looks like both of them are coming into the pit lane to probably pit onto a fresh new set of tires and get a front wing change as well. Slash has gone on the hard compound tires, so he's going to go pretty long in this Grand Prix. I'm expecting him to probably go hard soft and pit towards the end of the Grand Prix onto those tires. Now it looks like we got Milan and De Bosler. Oh dear, what happened there? Both have no wing now. Something happened to the both of them. They got wing damage as well. But something did happen to the both of them. They both have now no wing, and they're going to have to make sure that they get out of the way of the Williams and the Haas that's coming through the field now. But there was contact. As Jarno is now coming into the pit lane. What happened to Jarno? No, he's just pitting. He's pitting very early. Same with Nick Kenshin as well. Kenshin pitting as well. Very early stops for the two drivers. They're pitting onto the medium compound tires. So they feel that these softs are just not the greatest tires, and they're trying to go for the undercut strategy. Now, this is something that is a little bit different to what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing drivers going very long, but this is quite early for these two drivers. But could this be the race winning strategy? Could they maybe go for this undercut that works out beautifully for them, and then they try and make the move on Giro and Ruben and the other drivers ahead? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm curious to see where this strategy ends up for the both of them. But this does mean they are absolutely going for the two-stop strategy here. Most likely they'll go soft, medium, soft. They're going to try and push these mediums for a long ways in the Grand Prix. As Mats goes a little bit wide, that might invite Hyped to now get into the mix. Let's see. And Jarno's got fresher tires, so he's going to be flying compared to these two drivers. He once again passes. That is Hyped spinning around. Gets too much on the power at the exit of turn 9. Thank goodness Jarno avoided that. I hope he didn't get any damage there. But Hyped spun around. Thankfully, he saved it out of the wall as well. It looks like he didn't retire from the Grand Prix. I don't know if he's got any wing damage. It doesn't look like that's the case. But thank goodness Jarno was able to avoid that one. So Matt's coming out of the final corner now. Jarno's got a pretty good exit. He's going to try and make the move. I think he's got the DRS. He's going to try and go to the inside. Matt's trying to defend that inside line. So Jarno's going to get ahead, but Matt eventually lets him pass. He knows that Jarno's got fresher tires, and I think he knows that there's nothing he can really do. He's actually going to let his teammate pass as well. So team orders at Alpine, it seems. Kenshin up into P9. Matt's down into P10. So I wonder if there was team orders between the Alpines, but also Matt's also let Jarno pass, and I think that was just down to respect, really, because he knew that Jarno was on fresher tires and probably eventually going to pass the Alpine driver as well. So that's how that worked out. So good, respectful racing between the three drivers there. So it looks like the closest battle we might have between Jansen and Bruh for 6th position currently. The Ferrari is now coming through turn 12 at Tabak. As we come through the swimming pool section, Jansen currently in P6. Now, I wonder if the Ferrari is going to try and make the move with the DRS into the first turn. No, Jansen comes into the pit lane very early, actually. Is this for a wing change, or is this for... It is for a wing change. Okay, so he has decided to come into the pit lane for a change of tires and a wing change as well. But, yeah, this is very interesting to see. So Jarno has now just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, flying now on those medium compound tires. He's pushing quite a bit. He knows that he has to try and get this undercut strategy to work out. And he knows that Ruben and Giro are trying to push as well. So he has to try and get ahead. He has to try and gain that advantage on those two drivers and try and get ahead. And we have a few comments that came in. Really nice commentary. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Another comment that came in. I think De Bozler is going to win the race. Oh, that's a good prediction. De Bozler currently down in P16, though. I think this was when we had the qualifying session, so I wasn't able to answer that. It was looking all good for De Bozler, but he's got that contact. He had that contact towards the, I think it was turn 5 with Felix 1 and Jansen and Slash, if I'm not mistaken. And unfortunately, he's down to P16, so it's going to be really difficult for him to catch back up to the field. But, you know, anything can happen, especially here at Monaco. Who knows? We could see De Bozler possibly back up into the top 5 very soon if a late safety car comes out, maybe strategy works out, or some sort of chaotic moment with a pile-up, which could happen here at Monaco. So like I did mention, anything can happen. So Jarno is closed up to the Ferrari, and now he's going to start trying to make that move on the Ferrari driver as soon as possible. But actually, I think Bruh is just going to let him pass there. I think Ruz now just knows that Yarno is faster. I think it's a very similar situation with Mats and Yarno. So I wonder if that was just down to respect between the two drivers, and he just thought like, okay, you got fresher tires, go ahead. It seems like that was the case, but we don't know exactly. So Yarno, now that he's ahead of the Ferrari, he's going to start chasing after that Alfa Romeo. Now 2.7 seconds. He's going to probably need a few laps to do so. Oh, is that Milan out of the race? And where is that at? That is at, I think, the exit. Is that in the pit lane? I think that is in the pit lane. Yes, that is in the pit lane. So Milan out of the race, unfortunately, as Yarno comes into the pit lane. Yarno into the pits. Did he have wing damage? No, it seems to be a change. Oh, no, it is wing damage for the McLaren driver. So the 25 car will come into the pit lane and pit onto a fresh new set of tires and a front wing change. That is drama for the McLaren driver, and unfortunately, he's going to be moving down the table, and that might have just cost him the win. And I wonder how he got wing damage. I didn't see exactly how he got wing damage, but he's going to exit in P9, unfortunately. That's not the best situation there, as we have Felix 1 on Francie right on the back of the McLaren driver, as Mats is now out of the race. That could be a full course safety car or a VSC. Let's wait to see what the Monaco Grand Prix presenters say. It doesn't look like it's going to be either. It's just a yellow flag. Surprising. But Felix 1 could not make the move into the Nouvelle chicane. So I think he's going to try and close up to Francie and try and make that move in the DRS zone. Oh, Francie gets a little wide though. Felix 1 backs off. He knows that he cannot make the overtake at that particular moment. Yellow flag, that's for Mats's Alpine. As Felix 1 did not get a very good exit out of the final corner, and Anthony knows. But he's going to try and make that move very soon. So unfortunately, because of the poor exit, oh, he gets a little bit too much oversteer. And he came on the power a little bit too soon, it seems. But didn't lose too much time. But yeah, since he got that poor exit out of the final corner, he wasn't able to make the move on Francie quite yet, but I'm sure he's gonna try and make that move very soon, probably at the Nouvelle chicane, but we'll find out. He is very close to the McLaren driver. This makes me think that he's got higher downforce than the McLaren driver. But what's interesting, guys, is that since this track has got literally no straights, besides this straight, it's kind of like a straight, and then the pit straight, drivers can kind of pick whatever downforce setting they want, really. So I wonder maybe if Francie's just maybe tweaked the setup where he's got a little bit lower downforce. I'm not exactly sure. But Ruben is into the pit lane onto a fresh set of medium compound tires. It has happened. The race leader has pit, and Giro will take over as race leader of the Monaco Grand Prix. Ruben will exit, I think, right ahead of Francie, so that should be good for the Red Bull. And actually, Francie's coming into the pit lane as well, so even better for the Red Bull driver. Now, this would have been perfect for Alfa Romeo if they could get Felix 1 ahead of Ruben and then kind of hold up the Red Bull so Giro could try and pit and come out ahead of that Red Bull driver. That would have been perfect for Alfa Romeo, but unfortunately, it didn't really work out as Felix 1 is a further 2 seconds behind. So unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. Unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo team. Good news for Red Bull, of course, because if they got that Alfa Romeo head, that's not going to help them out. But Ruben will have that 9-second gap to Robin West. He's on a fresh new set of medium compound tires. He cannot take those to the end of the race. Most likely he can't take those to the end of the Grand Prix. That's 29 laps on the medium compound tires, which is a pretty big ask, but what I mentioned earlier was that you can take the mediums 30 laps. That is actually a possibility, but they are going to be in puncture territory. So Giro's coming into the pit lane. Let's see how fast the Alfa Romeo crew is going to be, and that looks to be a wing change as well. Is that a wing change for Alfa Romeo? No, that is not a wing change for Alfa. Giro into the pit lane will come out with a pretty good stop. Ruben's going to go past him. There is Ruben coming past. And he's going to exit with about a 5-second gap. And where is the Alfa Romeo driver going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of the Ferrari? Ooh, it's going to be close. Here comes Bra. He's right in the back of Giro. Nick Kenshin there as well. Giro gets ahead, though. That was super close for Alfa Romeo. Thank goodness Giro was able to get ahead, because if he was right behind, that probably would have been race-winning stuff over for the Alfa Romeo. Unless, of course, the safety car comes out at any point during the Grand Prix. So there goes Giro, there goes Brun, there goes Kenshin. Oh, the Ferrari didn't get the best of exit. Neither did Kenshin, though. Both didn't get a very good exit, and that seems to be just down to tire wear. As that is the Bosler out of the race. In the pit lane, it seems. It is in the pit lane for the AlphaTauri driver. It has not been his day today. It was looking pretty good for him. He was looking like he was going to score some decent points, but then that contact at turn 5 with another driver, I'm not sure exactly what happened. The stewards will most likely get into that incident a little bit later on, but he's out of the race. And his teammate as well is out. Teese out of the race as well. I do believe Teese is a reserve driver, but he is also out of the Grand Prix as Slash and Jansen just picked up a penalty. Unfortunate to see both AlphaTauris out of the race, but it is what it is. Slash, I think, has wing damage. He's going to come into the pit lane. Daniel will get up into P11 now. So just watching what happened. Wing damage is a very common thing for around here, guys. It is something that happens, and it's just how it goes. Now, I'm curious to see what Robin West is planning here. Now, he has gone very long on these soft compound tires, and you can go long. You can go to around 15 laps on, or around 13 laps, actually, on the soft compound tires before they start degrading, like, extremely, get towards those puncture territory. So Robin West trying to push these softs, and I think he's actually coming into the pit lane now, as I say that. So Robin will be up into third, I think. I think he'll come out. Oh, actually, I think he'll come out in P6. Or P5, sorry. I think Bra and Kenshin will come out ahead of that Aston Martin. He's actually competing for a front wing change as well. Very interesting to see that. I wonder if he had damage that he got somewhere, maybe because of those older soft compound tires. That is what it is. Yeah, we continue on. We have a comment coming in that Robin is going for a one-stop. So interesting. Yeah, I think that could be the case as well. I mean, Robin... Let's mathematically think about this. So, he's just put onto the medium compound tires on lap 13. By the way, we also have a great battle for 5th now because Francie's now joined the fight, and these two will continue on. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, Robin's just put onto the mediums on lap 13. And I think he should be able to actually make it to the end. He should have around, it's a little over 20 laps on those mediums. I think that actually is possible. 26 laps on the medium tires, that's when you start getting into the tire degrading stuff. But Robin, I think, might be going for that one-stop strategy as well. And you know what? That would be great for him if he can do that, because then he might be able to try and win this Grand Prix. But the thing is that Giro and Ruben will be probably coming out right behind Robin West, and then they'll have the fresh soft compound tires, and they'll probably overtake Robin. So I think Robin's objective right now is to finish in 3rd position, as he sets a purple sector in Sector 3. Looking pretty strong already for the Alpine driver. As we enter lap 14 out of 39 laps of the PSGL F8 PS Season 30 race for round 3 in the championship. It is a very amazing start to the season, guys. We had a brilliant race in Portugal, a really incredible race in Britain that mixed things up with the rain, you know, and then Monaco, of course, always is special because, of course, it's the Monaco Grand Prix. So, yeah, that's that. And then next week, we're going to be heading to another special track. I do believe it's going to be France. I could be mistaken, but I do believe it is going to be the French Grand Prix. I'll correct myself in a moment. If it is not the French Grand Prix, but I'm pretty sure it is. Let me just quickly check real quickly. It is going to be the French Grand Prix, yes. Okay, so it is going to be the Paul Ricard circuit, and what's interesting is that Monaco and France are bordering each other, so they'll just be heading right over to France. Oh, as Robin West gets a little bit too much on the exit of La Rascats, hits that wall on the back. Hopefully that didn't affect any damage, or he didn't get any more like tire degradation. I think that's a thing. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Robin West. He may have lost a little bit of time because of that, but that's how it goes. So Felix 1 and Yarno into the pit lane. Yarno struggling a little bit. I think he's coming in for another wing change, as Daniel gets a 3-second time penalty. Felix 1 onto a set of medium compound tires. Yarno onto a set of old medium compound tires, and most likely taking those mediums to the end of the Grand Prix. Same with Felix 1. So Felix will be going to the end in just a moment's time. Oh, is that the Mercedes? Is that Jansen? Yes, it is Jansen at the exit of turn 6 now. And that's Felix 1 out of the Grand Prix. Is that a safety car? The Alfa Romeo's out. Ooh, that is a severe collision for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's run on board with El Palater. You can see that Alfa Romeo just right there in the wall. He got too close to the wall and he's out of the race. That is horrible for the Alfa Romeo crew. They were going so well. They have one driver in the podium positions, one driver that was going to be probably up into the top 6. And unfortunately, that Alfa Romeo is out of the Grand Prix and becomes the 5th retirement of the Monaco Grand Prix here in PSGL. But that is okay. That is how it works. Now, Ruben's got an 8.4 second gap to Giro. So the gap is not really decreasing or increasing. It's kind of staying the same between the two drivers. So that's good. Actually, Giro has lost a little bit of time to Ruben. Ruben's starting to pull away a little bit there. He's gained 2 or so tenths to the Alfa Romeo as we get an awesome camera angle of Giro. Get the bird's eye view here as we can see the amazing water on the left now, where the Mediterranean Sea is. As we enter the swimming pool section into Lorascas, you guys get an excellent view of that. Into Anthony Nose. Looking really strong is Giro, but he is losing a little bit of time to Ruben. I think Ruben's also putting on a really good race here today. Besides the action on track, guys, I also love seeing the visuals of just the landscape and all the buildings and stuff like that. It is an amazing circuit. It is an amazing city, as well as Monaco is the 2nd smallest country in the world. Fun fact about Monaco there. It is a very unique city, and also is an amazing track as well. The Monaco Grand Prix. It's up there with Brazil and Spa, you know, Interlagos and Spa, Monza, all those tracks, Silverstone. Those are 4 amazing circuits as well, but I think Monaco tops it. It's like Le Mans, it's like Indy 500, it's like Daytona. It is up there for motorsport. It is a very amazing circuit, and I think when people do think of Formula 1, they do think of the Monaco Grand Prix, even if they are not Formula 1 fans, actually. But anyway, moving on, we are on lap 17 out of 39. Now lap 18 as Ruben starts the 18th lap. He has led pretty much start to finish, besides the few laps where Giro led the race. I think Giro led the race for 2 laps until he did pit, and Ruben took over the race lead once again. Ruben's had a very good race, and all he has to do is keep it consistent. Now, for Monaco, guys, this race is not really necessarily about overtaking and about just like overtaking your rivals. It's more about just driving. It is more about just keeping it consistent, keeping the car on track, and making sure you get to the end of the race. That's kind of how this works out with this race. Of course, you want to make sure you get a good result, but at the same time, all you have to make sure is that you're just keeping it consistent, keeping it on track, and making sure that you finish where you need to be, really. So we have 12 runners in the race. We have lost Milan, Mats, Thies, De Bosler, and Felix 1 from the Grand Prix. Ruben still leading the race. A 9-second gap to Giro in P2. Bra and Nick Kenshin. I think that's our closest battle right now. The Alpine is going to be right on the back of the Ferrari car. Now, I'm curious to see when these two drivers do pit. They're probably going to go to around lap 25 or lap 26. I think they're going to try and go all the way to there and try and pit onto the softs, because I think they want a podium here, because, of course, they'll get the interview today, and then they'll also get just the podium. You know, that would be great for them. So I think they want to make sure that they get a podium here today, especially because Robin is in P5, 2.7 seconds to Nick Kenshin. So I think they want to make sure they extend that gap off of Robin and then pit onto the softs, and then try and just overtake the rest of trying to overtake Robin and try and get a podium. That would be great. But I think what needs to happen here for Nick Kenshin currently, let's ride on board with him. And what needs to happen for him is he needs to overtake the Ferrari. That's what needs to happen for him. He definitely needs to overtake that Ferrari and then try and get that clean air and try and push as much as possible on those medium compound tires. But of course, not push too much, because if you degrade those tires too much, you're going to get into puncture territory. You're going to have no grip, and that gives a little bit more of an opportunity for, well, not an opportunity, but a thing to happen with the wall. You know, drivers will hit the wall if they have no grip. And unfortunately, that's just how it works out. So these drivers have to make sure that they push on those tires and make sure that they get the gap to Robin West, but also make sure that they conserve those tires and make sure they're not pushing too hard to the point where they lose grip, and that just makes them more prone to hitting the wall. So that's kind of how that works out. It's kind of how it all works out in that way. So Burrow still leading the battle for third now. Nick Kenshin has got a 0.4 of a second gap. I just don't think he can make the overtake yet. And that's how Monaco is. Back in 2003, there was no overtakes the entire Grand Prix. Now, of course, in this race, we've had a lot of overtakes, actually, for Monaco, really. You don't really see too many. Yeah, we did see a lot of overtakes today. And so these drivers right now, though, they're going to be trying to make sure that they just keep it to the end, and that's kind of how that all works. But Nick Kenshin has to hope that the Ferrari makes a little mistake, and then he can get ahead. But he's also got to worry because Robin West is right behind, and now we're getting a three-way fight for third position. Now, if I were Robin, I would kind of just leave it at this. He's got the pressure tires. He's right in the back of Nick Kenshin. And he's gonna want to try and overtake these two drivers, and then maybe try and close that gap to Giro, which will be very difficult to do. Yeah, right now he's got the fresher tires, so he doesn't have to push as hard as the two drivers ahead. So I don't know. We'll see how that all works out. Now, the Alpine and the Ferrari right now, since they do have Robin West behind, I think they're hoping to overtake the McLarens, probably get in between Jarno and Francie. Francie currently P6, Jarno currently P7. And they're definitely going to get in between the two McLarens, but I think they're going to want to try and get right on the back of Francie. I think that's what they're hoping for. But they've got a long ways to go. They still have a few more laps to go till they start pitting. And that'll be a little bit more difficult for them, but we'll find out. But otherwise, there's not too much action happening. Not a lot of overtaking happening in the Grand Prix. We're kind of at that stage in the race where we're just seeing drivers kind of just waiting for that time to pit. It looks like there was a lockup for one of the drivers, showing that the tires are maybe degrading, and unfortunately that lockup will affect their tire degradation, and maybe they'll have to pit a little bit earlier. But Robin West is now closed up to Nick Kenshin quite a bit, and he's now 0.3 behind the Alpine. He's getting very close, and I think we'll have the opportunity to make the move on the Alpine very soon. But the thing is that they are in kind of a DRS train here, because they're getting DRS off of the Ferrari ahead. So I don't know if there's going to be a place to make an overtake for Robin West with the DRS. So he's going to have to make it into the Nouvelle Chicane or into turn 5 or like La Rasca, somewhere like that. If he's going to try and make that overtake on Nick Kenshin. But I don't know. I don't think he's risking anything quite yet. Robin West locking up a little bit there. That won't be good for his tires, but it shouldn't affect too much. He is only on 9-lap old mediums as he hits the wall. No! No, Robin West has now got wing damage. No way! That's the Martin driver hit the wall on the entrance, and he definitely's got wing damage now. It doesn't look like it's visible. No, it is definitely visible. I correct myself there. That's Jansen out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car or a VSC? We haven't seen that quite yet in the race. But it seems like that's not a safety car. That has to be a safety car. Let's ride on board with the Ferrari and see where Jansen's at. It looks like the same corner where Felix 1 crashed out as Robin West comes into the pit lane for the soft compound tires. And that is almost exactly the same crash to Felix 1. But that is not a safety car. I am very surprised that is not a safety car or a VSC. But it is what it is. Maybe the Monaco Grand Prix presenters think that, or not the Monaco Grand Prix presenters, it's more just the game itself. Maybe the game thinks that that's not worthy of a safety car. I would have brought out a VSC at least. But it is what it is, so we move on. So Robin West has just come into the pit lane, and he's come out 21 seconds behind Francie. Ooh, that's not the greatest for Robin West. That might have affected his podium, and unfortunately, I think that's going to. So that might bring the Ferrari into third and Nick Kenshin into fourth. Well, right now they're third and fourth, but once they pit, I think they're going to come out behind Francie in P4 and P5. Now, Francie's actually in a good chance for a podium here. I think the McLaren could be getting a third position here. Now, he is on 14-lap old medium, so the question is, can he make it to the end of the Grand Prix? He's got quite a long ways to go. He still has... he's got to make these mediums last for another 12 or so laps, I think, until they... I mean, that's kind of how that works out, and then maybe he can start to relax. I don't know how this is going to work out for Francie. He may want to pit for the softs. I would probably recommend pitting for the softs unless he can try and conserve these tires, maybe coast into certain corners of the track, shift higher up, or shift sooner, short shift. That would be good for the McLaren driver. If he can do that and save his tire wear, then he should be able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. So we'll see. Nick Kenshin, 6/10 behind the Ferrari in P3. So the gap between those two drivers is still pretty much exactly the same. And the gap between first and second is 9.3 seconds. There's not much difference between the two drivers there. But besides that, we're not seeing too many overtakes. We're kind of just waiting for Nick Kenshin and Barat to come into the pit lane. So those two drivers will probably come into the pit lane in the next 1 to 2 laps. We'll find out. We have another question coming in. Why was there no safety car? I don't know. I think you're talking about that incident with Jansen crashing out. I have no idea. I don't know if the safety car was turned off. I don't think the safety car was turned off. It kind of seems like that. But I've got no idea why the safety car didn't come out, or VSC. But it is what it is. We move on. 11 racers still in the Grand Prix. Nick Kenshin still has that same gap to Bra, and I think they're probably going to come in on this lap. You can see them kind of struggling with those medium compound tires, but it is what it is, really. So we'll see if they come in to the pit lane this lap, and if they don't, they are really going long and trying to conserve those tires, and they are not. Very interesting. That is very interesting. So I was expecting them to come into the pit lane on lap 26, but... I mean, if they can stretch those tires out for long, then sure, why not? Try and go for the softs later on and try and get better tire wear. You know, it works out as long as these mediums make it to the end. Maybe those mediums are good tire wear. Unfortunately, I do not have that data out on my screen right now. Unfortunately, the game doesn't give that data of what tire wear is like for these two drivers. And so I kind of wish it did. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, these two drivers... probably, I'd say their tire wear is around 60 to 70%, somewhere around there. So I would think they would come into the pit lane at the end of this lap or the next lap. Probably this lap. I don't know exactly, though. It's lap 27 begins as Ruben starts that. And Giro started to close that gap on Ruben, actually. He's got the gap down to 8.8 seconds. It was over 9 seconds. And now it is starting to, I think... go down. So Giro might still be able to take this race victory. I mean, that's a long shot, but if Ruben makes one tiny little mistake, it's wing damage, that plays it perfectly into Giro, because now he's got 8.7 seconds to Ruben. Does Ruben actually have damage? Let's find out. No, he does not. It doesn't seem that way. I think maybe Ruben made a little mistake, or Giro's just getting faster. I think that's both are plausible, so I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, these two still have that same gap. They're actually now to 8.99 seconds now between the two drivers. And let's find out if the Ferrari and the Alpine come into the pit lane on this lap. They have decided not to come into the pit lane on the next lap, and now they got actually Francie right behind, so it now returns to the three-way fight for third position. And we'll find out if Francie will be able to overtake Nick Kenshin and Bruh. Maybe he'll be able to do it very soon with the DRS enabled. Not exactly sure, but it would really be beneficial for Francie if the two drivers do come into the pit lane. Then he's got clear air and is able to get up there. As that is Daniel now out of the Grand Prix. And where's that at? That is at the exit of turn. That is right there. Oh dear. He's actually stopped in the middle of the track, so not exactly sure why that's the case. No safety car, no VSC. As actually all three drivers stay out. Very interesting. So Nick Kenshin and Bruh stay out on their tires, which is very surprising. Now, the Ferrari has gotten 27 laps on those medium compound tires. Now, that's quite a bit. Now, Nick Kenshin actually has 24 lap-old medium compound tires. So, actually, he might be able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. It's going to be, I mean, he's going to be on 34 lap-old medium compound tires, and that's going to be definitely in the puncture territory if that's the case. For the Ferrari, I don't know if he can make it to the end of the race. I don't think he can. I don't know exactly. But, yeah, we'll see. As Jensen has left the session, unfortunate to see that. He did retire a few laps ago. It is what it is, though. All these drivers that have retired will come back stronger at the Paul Ricard circuit for the French Grand Prix for round 4 next week. That should be incredible. I can't wait to see the French Grand Prix. We're just heading over to Le Castellet, France in the game, which is, in real life, it's actually not too far away from Monaco. The two circuits are pretty close together. But anyway, it looks like these three drivers still stay out. Are they making it to the end of the Grand Prix? Are they trying to do so? I mean, I think if they were going to pit for the softs, they would probably pit a little bit earlier on, because 10 laps on the softs, you can definitely do that. But I think they would probably want to pit or take those softs a little bit longer. But I have a feeling that these three are making it to the end of the Grand Prix. I think Francie's definitely making it to the end. But Kenshin and Bruh, I don't know if either will be able to make it to the end. I mean, the Ferrari, ooh, looks like he hit the wall a little bit there. He's ghosted. Oh, you can see him sliding about. I think those tires are starting to struggle quite a bit now. I think it'll be good if he come into the pit lane. Because right now he's struggling a little bit with tire wear. I think it may have just hit for the Ferrari driver. Oh, you can see him just struggling. He gets the 3-second time penalty in the process as well. He's really struggling to keep those tires there. Francie right behind the Alpine of Nick Kenshin. These three are really close together. I think Francie's actually going to try on Nick Kenshin. Are we going to see a Larascas move? No, we are not. Kenshin locks up. Ooh, and the Ferrari does come into the pit lane. It has happened. Bruh comes into the pits, and now it is a fight for third position between Nick Kenshin and Francie. I think there was no choice for the Ferrari driver. He had to come in the pit lane. Looks like he got damage as well. A lot of smoke. What is going on there? Looked like there was like a fire or something like that. I don't think that can happen in a game. But yeah, he had to come into the pits. There was no other way, really. I think he would have gotten a puncture otherwise. It is what it is. He will move on. We'll be able to score some good points. He'll come out in P7 and start chasing after Yarno. I think he's going to try and get at least a top 6 here. I think that's what he's aiming for right now. Now for the top 3, Nick Kenshin in P3, Giro in P2, Ruben in P1. Ruben now has that 11.3 second gap to Giro, so the gap has grown a little bit to the Alfa Romeo driver. And then I think our closest battle really is between Francie and Kenshin here. Now Kenshin Will he make it to the end of the Grand Prix? I'm not exactly sure. He is on 26 lap old medium compound tires. I'm assuming he's going to start to struggle as Francie gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's quickly check penalties real quickly, as Francie actually has 6 seconds time penalties, and Kenshin's got 0. So this might be good for Kenshin. If he's going to be able to stay ahead, he will definitely get P3 in this Grand Prix. We'll find out. And 6 laps separates the two drivers. And actually, Francie is going to try and go for it. Kenshin defends the inside, though. Oh, he had a lot of speed into Massenet and to Casino Square. He was looking for the move. Kenshin blocked him, though. That was a smart move from Kenshin to defend the inside line. Francie couldn't do anything about it. Ooh, almost hits the back of the Alpine. Francie will be in P4 still. 6:10 separating those two drivers. So they'll continue on. But while we are just with a few laps remaining of the Grand Prix, if you guys have any questions about the just maybe upcoming races or just have any questions for me, let me know down in the comments below. While we have this moment, we have some time to answer any questions if you guys have any of those. So let me know down in the comments below. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, if you guys are new to the PSGL channel, I've already said this before, but I'll do it one more time. If you guys are new, subscribe. That would be much appreciated to see more F8 content. There's a lot of more content coming out for F8. Of course, we are heading to France next time out, and then the rest of the season is going to be incredible as well. A lot of fun racing coming up for the F8 division here on PlayStation. It is going to be absolutely incredible to witness. Also, another thing as well, if you guys would like, also subscribe to my personal channel as well. Formula Jonah is the channel as well, so you guys can check out all the content I do on All Motorsport. So that would be much appreciated. So anyway, moving on, we are 32 laps into the Grand Prix. Out of 39, a few laps remaining. Kenshin still stays out on his medium compound tires. 28 laps he has those on, and Francie is in P4 on those medium compound tires. And we have a question coming in. What race is next? Oh, it's going to be the French Grand Prix, as I did mention at the Paul Ricard circuit. That is going to be absolutely incredible for round 4. So we're just heading over to Le Castellet for the French Grand Prix. A lot of places to make overtakes as well. There is quite a bit of overtaking opportunities for drivers at the French Grand Prix. I think it's mostly turn 8 as Francie comes into the pit lane. Francie into the pit lane. I think he knows that Kenshin most likely has P3 in the race. Now, this is interesting because now Robin is now up into 4th and now going to start chasing after Nick Kenshin. He's on 10-lap-old soft compound tires. 2.8 seconds separates 3rd and 4th position. Now, Kenshin, will he want to pit? I don't know. He is now entering 30 laps on the medium compound tires. And like I said, the mediums can go 30 laps. But after that, they're definitely going to be in puncture territory right now. I think they're already in puncture territory for Nick Kenshin right now. But Robin is going to start flying on those softs compared to Kenshin. I think he's going to start chasing after that Alpine and going for 3rd position in the Grand Prix. Let's see how many penalties Robin has. He's got 3 seconds, so he has to get that 3-second gap after, and that's definitely doable. So let's just find out. So the Aston Martin driver going for another podium. This would be great if Robin ends up on the podium. It's also be great if Kenshin ends up on the podium as well after surviving on these medium compound tires. But will he pull the string and come into the pit lane to pit onto the softs? Let's find out. No, he stays out. He is going to the end, guys. This is getting interesting now between Nick Kenshin and Robin West. Who will finish in 3rd position? Will Robin West be able to catch up to Kenshin, overtake him, then get that 3-second gap? This is going to be interesting. Or will Nick Kenshin hold on for P3, or will he get that puncture? We will find out in just a few laps' time. So Kenshin currently 35 seconds behind Giro. Robin West now 1.8 seconds behind Nick Kenshin. He is closing that gap. He has got it down to under 2 seconds. So all he has to do now is make sure that he consistently drives the pace that he's driving. Alright, so we are just waiting for this battle between 3rd and 4th. We will find out who is able to do this and be able to get 3rd place in this Grand Prix. This is going to be very, very surprising. We'll find out in a moment. So Robin is in 4th position. He's got that gap under a second now and looking pretty strong right now. So let's see how this works out. 0.6 of a second now. The Aston Martin driver is closing in. He is absolutely going for this. Let's see if he's going to be able to do this. .5 of a second to Nick Kenshin. 36 laps into the Grand Prix, just the 3 laps remaining. Kenshin is now there. Now, Robin West may be close to Kenshin, but he is... this is the thing, guys, is that while he is right next to Kenshin, he has to make that overtake. While catching someone is brilliant, overtaking someone is completely different. It is a completely different thing to do. Kenshin hits the wall! Kenshin hits the wall! He's now a ghosted car. Is Robin just going to ghost right through him? I think he is going to do so. Unless Kenshin is able to get ahead right there. And because Kenshin hit the wall, the ghosting was enabled. Robin West now moves himself up into 3rd position. Now, I did not expect that. Because the thing is, guys, is catching a driver is something to do. You know, it is something. But overtaking a driver is something completely different. But because that car was ghosted, Robin was able to ghost kind of right through him. So it kind of worked out beautifully for Robin. But now he has to make sure that he gets that 3-second gap to Nick Kenshin. He already has a 1.5-second gap to the Alpine driver in P4. And now he has to make sure that he gains another 2.5 seconds on that Alpine. And Ruben and Giro still running their race 1-2 as it pretty much started from the Grand Prix. Ruben has led pretty much the entire Grand Prix. He has done an absolutely amazing job. And yeah, I mean, like, wow, it's going to be incredible to see Ruben win. He hasn't won yet in the race. The first winner of the race was Milan in Portugal. And then Britain was, who was it? Chris. It was Chris in the Haas. He won that race. Congrats to him as well on that one. Congrats to Milan on the Portuguese Grand Prix, as I have said many different times. And it was great to see both of them up there. And now we'll get a 3rd different winner in season number 30 for F8. Ruben will win the Grand Prix. And I'm curious to see if we'll be able to get like the 2012 season where we had like 7 different winners at the start of the start of the season. We could possibly get that, as it looks like Hyped has just spun off, I think. Oh, he's got no wing. He's going to have to survive it, though. Make sure that he gets to the pit lane. As Giro comes into the pit lane, he's going to go for the fastest lap of the race. I think that's what's going on right now. Oh, wait a second. No, different pair of drivers. I thought that was the Alpine and the McLaren coming around the final corner, but no, that is a different pair of drivers there. Also, Robin's now got the gap to Nick Kenshin, so he will finish in P3. Jarno is now starting to chase after Nick Kenshin. He's going to start getting on the back of that Alpine driver, so that's going to be good for him. Giro is just put onto the softs. I bet he just loved those softs after being on really old medium compound tires. I think he just really likes those softs now. But he's going to push for that fastest lap. Possibly might get it on the final lap and get that extra point, which would be good for him. And Jarno right in the back of Kenshin. I think he's going to try and go for the move. He tried it into Massenet a little bit earlier on. Kenshin breaks a little bit early. Jarno trying to go for the switchback maneuver, get the better exit out of this particular section. Kenshin hits the wall. Jarno trying to go for it down the inside. Is he going to make it into turn 5? No, he does not. Meanwhile, Ruben starts the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix as Jarno right on the back of the Alpine car. Let's see if he's going to try and make it into the Nouvelle Chicane. We have not seen a move yet into the Nouvelle Chicane on the screen, but I think Jarno is going to try this. He's got to use everything he can to try and make the move on Nick Kenshin, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be able to go for it. He's going to have to go for it, but Nick Kenshin locks up. Kenshin locks up. That might be able to get Jarno up into 4th, and that does. Jarno is now into 4th position and takes over as race leader. Does Kenshin have a puncture? I think he does. Does he have a puncture? No, I don't think so. I think he's just really struggling with those tires right now. But it is all good as we watch our race leader coming around the swimming pool section. One final heavy braking zone to go for the Red Bull driver. That's at La Rascasse, and he's going to do it Ruben had an excellent job here today. I said at the start of the stream that he was going to have I had a feeling that he was going to have a great race. He started on pole, and he definitely is going to have a great race because Ruben wins the Monaco Grand Prix in PSGL for F8. Ruben is the race winner in Monaco. Congrats to him from pole to win. Ruben wins it. Congrats to him on 30 lap-old medium compound tires. Giro coming around the final couple of corners. Will Giro be able to take the fastest lap for the race here today? Let's find out as he comes to the line now. Is it going to be fastest lap? It is fastest lap for Giro. Good job by the Alfa Romeo driver. He takes the fastest lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Congrats to him. Also, Robin is going to come around the final couple of corners to score another podium in PSGL. It is going to be podium number 2 in season number 30. He took a podium in Portugal, and he's going to take a podium in Monaco. Congrats to him on another well-earned podium. But Ruben is the driver. He is the driver of this race. Ruben, pole position to the win. He led from start to finish, and he really does deserve that one. Congrats to him. Ruben is going to finish in first. So Milan won Portugal, and Chris won Britain, and Ruben wins Monaco. So congrats to Red Bull as they also get the driver of the day for Hyped as well. Congrats to him on that one. But here are the podium celebrations. Ruben comes out as the race winner for the Monaco Grand Prix, and it truly is something special to win here in Monaco. Ruben will be very happy to have won here in Monaco. Red Bull somehow go really well here in Monaco, in the real world and the virtual world, it seems, as Ruben will take the win. Giro started second, finished second. Congrats to him on the podium as well. Got the fastest lap as well. Great points for Alfa Romeo. Also, congrats to Robin as well on the podium in Monaco. So congrats to the top 3, and congrats to the rest of the field as well. Francie was able to finish in P4, I do believe. Nick Kenshin, I do believe, was able to finish in P5, surviving on those tires. Congrats to him. El Pilatera is in P6 for Williams, with Bra, who pit a little bit earlier on, who finished 7th position. And then we got Francie in the McLaren in P8. It was Yarno in P4 for McLaren. I wasn't able to, I think I mixed the two McLarens up there. And then we got Hyped in the Red Bull in P9 and Slash in P10. But it is the race winner that we're going to be talking about for a while now. Ruben, the race winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. Congrats to him. As we head into the loading screen now, I'm going to try and get those 3 drivers in for a interview here today. And then we'll be ending off the stream. So give me a moment while I invite those guys. And then we'll do a quick interview. And like I mentioned, we'll end off the stream after that. All right, we are back, so thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm just going to quickly get over to the showroom so we can get everyone's cars. I have invited all 3 drivers to the podium celebrations, so I'll just be waiting for those drivers to get in. It looks like Ruben won't be able to join us, but it looks like Giro and Robin will be able to join. So we'll just wait for them to get in a moment, so just give us some patience here. Let me quickly get over to the showroom so we can get our cars up on screen. We'll start out with our podium, or our Aston Martin driver who finished in 3rd, and then we'll go up to 2nd and all that sort of thing. So I'll quickly get that on screen, and I'm just going to wait for our drivers to join. So give me a moment here. All right, it looks like we have Robin joining us. Hello, Robin. Can you make sure that your voice is being shared on YouTube just so we can hear you on the stream?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it is on.
Awesome. Okay, thank you very much. And we're just waiting for Giro to get in, and then we'll start. I'll wait for... Actually, let's start with you. We'll start with you, and then Giro will join, hopefully, while we're talking. So,
Yes.
Sorry, what'd you say?
No, I say yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. So, just want to say congrats on the podium. I think it's your 2nd podium this season. You got a podium in Portugal, and you got a podium in Monaco, correct?
Yeah, but Portimao, I get a 5-second penalty for crossing the pit exit line.
Oh, so, no, I didn't know that.
So this is my first.
Gotcha. So it's your first official podium. Well, congrats on that one. I mean, you had a brilliant race. Just talk us through it. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, my start was not so good. I expected a better start, but yeah. But I outbraked El Piloto around the outside turn 1, and then he goes side by side with Jarno, and they almost crashed, so I had to back out. And then Jarno pitted in lap 3, which was very early. He came stuck out in traffic, and then we pushed on to lap 12, I think, and then pitted to the mediums, and then I was pushing like hell, and then picked up some minor some damage, yes, and then pitted to the softs and pushed very hard to get Nick and Barry. So yeah, it was very good race for me, I say.
Yeah, you had a brilliant race today. P3 at the flag. Congrats on that again. Okay. It sounds like you were pushing quite a bit. Talk us through how the track felt with you. You know, like the Monaco Grand Prix is a very difficult track. So while you were pushing to chase after the other cars, what did you think about, like, just was your mind just kind of like consistency is key? You got to make sure that I'm pushing, but also making sure that I don't hit these walls.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we just have to. I guess I'll ask one more question before Giro gets in here, and then I'll invite him to the party. From this result, what do you think about the next one in France? Do you think you have the pace at the Paul Ricard circuit? What's your thoughts on that race, and how do you think you'll do then?
Yeah, it's a much better suited track for me, so I should say if I get the strategy right, then I should get a podium again, hopefully. So, yeah.
Well, I really hope you do. I really hope that your season goes well, and you'll be fighting for that podium, and maybe even the win, you know, next time out in France. All the best for you.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. All right, so let's get Giro in here. I'm just going to quickly get him in here, guys, so you'll see a blue screen for a moment, and then, yeah, we'll do that. All right, so we're just waiting for Giro to get in now. And I'm going to get his car on screen as well, that beautiful Alfa Romeo. And we'll just wait for Giro to get in here. Once he is in here, we'll do that. And I think our first place finisher wasn't able to join, so we'll just have Giro. And then I think we'll be ending off the stream. But guys, let us know what you think about that race. What was your thoughts on the Monaco Grand Prix? Let us know all your thoughts. All right, it looks like Giro's having some trouble getting into the session, so I'm going to send him one more invite, and then we'll see if we can get him in here. All right, so I just invited Giro, so you should be joining in a moment now. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Some of the technological stuff is hard to get under control. But anyway, we got Giro joining us. Giro, real quickly before we get into the interview, can you check and see if your audio is being shared on YouTube so everyone can hear you on stream?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because, I'm pretty sure, but I will check.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much. All right, so let me quickly check and see if we can hear you. I think we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Awesome. All right, so first off, I want to say congrats on the podium. If I'm not mistaken, that is your first podium this season, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Well, congrats on that. You started second in the Grand Prix, finished second in the Grand Prix. Would you say today's race is all about consistency? How was your thoughts on that? Just give us everything on how your race went.
Yeah, so qualifying was important to get a good banker, which I managed to do with a 9.6, and then I could really risk the laps after that. And then I was able to do quite a good lap. I think, I don't know, was it a 9.0 or 9.91, I think. Just missed pole by 13 thousandths of a second, which was a bit annoying. Then on the start, Jarno came pretty close to me, but I managed to defend it. And then it was pretty straightforward. Of course, the first or the pit stop phase was a bit hectic because some pitted early to undercut, but I think they got into traffic, and Jarno also damaged his front wing a few times, or at least one time, which as a result so myself and Ruben didn't got undercut by anyone. And after the pit stops, it was pretty straightforward. Just no mistakes, consistency, and of course I set myself then the goal to go for the fastest lap at the end, but it was also pretty easy. I don't had to push much to create a gap to P3.
Yeah, that's good. You know, your race sounded like it was a great one. You got some consistent points. I think that's 19 points for you from this race. So congrats on that. You drove.
Is it in the front points? It would be 19, but in PSGL I think it's 13.
13. Okay. All right, good to know. Thank you so much. You had a brilliant race. Gotta say, the consistency seems to be key for all these drivers here at Monaco, as it is a very difficult circuit, as you are well aware. You know, it is one of the most difficult circuits on the Formula One calendar. So it seems like your race went really well in terms of like consistency and all that sort of thing. And then you chose to pit for the fastest lap at the end of the race. Were you just going for every single point?
Yeah, exactly. Because it was, I think I had a nearly 40-second gap to P3, so it wasn't really a difficult choice to make. And I also knew that a pit stop costs pretty exactly 18.2 seconds, so I informed myself about that before. So it wasn't really a difficult decision. But then I think also I'm not sure if I was the only one who went for the fastest lap, because in the in the field behind, or I think only 10 drivers finished, right?
I do believe so, yes.
Yeah, so P10 could also go for the fastest lap, which meant I had to push also on the last lap, but I think I managed to do so quite well.
Yeah, I think a few drivers did go for the fastest lap, but you did end out on top. You got that fastest lap at the end, so well deserved. That just shows your pace for around here. To continue the pace subject, what's your thoughts on the French Grand Prix? How well do you think you'll do at the Paul Ricard circuit coming up next? Just give us all your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think pace-wise, probably I won't be that good in qualifying at least. But usually in the race, I'm quite consistent with not getting invalidation or track warnings. So I think that could be an advantage for myself, as it is very difficult in France to not get any warnings. And overtaking is also very good possible in France, so a poor qualifying shouldn't hurt too much. And also the alternative strategy, or the P11 or out of top 10 qualifying finish wouldn't be a disaster in France. So I'm very hopeful for a good result there again.
Well, I hope you get a great result in France and continue the form that you showed today in Monaco. So all the best for the next race and for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you, and thanks for the commentary.
Of course, anytime. All right, well, I think that's going to conclude everything, guys. I think we should be ending off the stream now. So thank you to our podium finishers for joining in the booth. That was very much appreciated to both of Rob and Giro for joining us in the commentary for a little interview that we did. So I think that is going to conclude everything, guys. I think we're going to end off the stream, so I'll round off the video with showing the race-winning car. Congrats to Ruben on winning the Monaco Grand Prix. Congrats to Giro and Robin. They seemed very happy on second and third position, so congrats to them as well. So that was Monaco. That was round 3 of the Season 30 Championship in F8, the PlayStation division. I hope you all enjoyed that video. Join us next week, exactly the same time, for the French Grand Prix, round 4 at the Circuit de Paul Ricard, of course, in Le Castellet, France, for the French Grand Prix. So join us then for the next F8 race. But until the next one, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel to see more PSGL content. Like this video if you enjoyed it. That would be much appreciated. And we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.